I am so excited to share Halloweekend Readathon with you. This is a game board style readathon where we are investigating a haunted house. The thing is, we are only doing so every weekend, every long weekend throughout the month of October. So the official dates are October 2nd through November 2nd because we could all use a little bit extra Halloween. But it really only takes place every Thursday night through a Sunday night in your time zone. The point is to have a 72-hour readathon every week. It gives you something to look forward to during the week, gives you some extra time to plan your books, get access to books throughout the week. So the official dates are October 2nd through 5th, October 9th through 12th, October 16th through 19th, October 23rd through 26th, and October 30th through November 2nd. So we have 5 weekends. That means in this haunted house there are 5 different rooms for us to investigate. Each weekend you move through one room. There's a couple different versions of this depending on the commitment you want. And then each room has an overall theme you have to fit. So if you have been around and watched my TBR game, we are using a version of my TBR game board. So there are 5 different rooms with 5 colors and 5 different categories, themes that you have to fit, and then there's a prompt on every space on the board as well that you have to match. So the rooms we have are the library, which is the red room, and the theme for this is something creepy. This can be the characters, the setting, the plot, really anything about the book. All of these prompts are completely up to your interpretation. So you don't have to read horror or thriller books for this. You could read something that is dark fantasy with creatures. You could read something with a creepy character in real life that just like gives you the ick. Then we have the bedroom, which is yellow, and the overall theme is something intimidating. This could be the length of the book. It could be an author you've read from and disliked and want to give another chance. It could be an author you've read and loved and you're scared of the next book. Could be something within the content itself that is intimidating to you. Lots of options. Then we have the dining room, which is orange, and the theme is something scary. For this, it could be something on the cover, like there's a monster on the cover, there's a bug on the cover. It could be a new genre or a new trope. It could be something where the average rating scares you. The book itself could be scary. Then we have the kitchen, which is purple, and the theme for this is haunted. So it could be a typical haunted story. It could be something that's been sitting on your TBR shelf for so long and it's haunting you. It could be something that is lowly rated. It could be something that one of your friends you trust dislikes. The characters in the book could be haunted by something in their past. Once again, you don't have to just read a ghost story for this. And then we have the living room, which is green, and the theme is something dark. This could be the cover of the book. It could be the content of the book. It could be your feelings on the book before starting it for whatever reason. A lot of these general themes can kind of overlap. I feel like in a lot of them you could count something with a low rating. These are really open to interpretation, so you can still be reading books that you want to be reading. So how the readathon works is you have to investigate each room. There are 5 weekends, 5 rooms, and you have to go from the door you are entering through into the room to the space right before the door that goes into the next room. Once you get to that space, you have completed your investigation of that room. You can go straight to that door. You can hit as many spaces on the board that you would like. You can double up on prompts. Really, you can make this work for you. I also have a reading prompt and an activity prompt on every single square, so that if you want to do some of the other things in the readathon, but you can only read one book in 72 hours, then you can still do a lot of the other stuff as well. You do have to do the prompt that you land on though. There's a lot of different ways that you can go within the board to get prompts that work for you. So if there's something you really don't want to do, just take a path to get somewhere else. So each room has a door to get into the room and then a door to get into the next room. Each room also has a ghost in it, as well as a piece of equipment for you to investigate the ghost. So there are 3 versions of this that you can do. You can do version 1 for one weekend if you're extra busy, and version 3 on the next weekend. You can mix and match. So in all versions, you investigate one room a weekend. In version 1, you are just exploring the room, which means you are going from the entrance door to the exit door. With that, your first space will be entering the room, so the first square right inside the door, and the last space for the room will be the one right before the door, so before you go into the next door. So for version 1, all you have to do is go from the entrance, enter the room, and make your way to the next door to move into another room, and then you will end the last weekend by going out of the exterior door. Each room has a door that leads to the other rooms that it's connected to and an exterior door. So there is no true path you have to take. You can start and end in any room. Version 2 is the same thing, but there's also a ghost in the room that you will visit, which means you will have to do either the reading or activity prompt associated with that ghost. And then version 3 has all of the elements previously mentioned, plus there is a piece of equipment that you can collect to help you investigate the ghost. So more details about all of these versions. You can choose to use 1 6-sided die, you can use 2 depending on everything you want to accomplish. You can try to hit every single space if you want. If you roll more than something that would give you a prompt, say there's 5 spaces between the door you are going from and the door you're going to, and you roll a 7, you would stop on that 5th space and you have to do the prompt right before the door as your prompt. So for all of these, there is a board you can print out. Here is what it looks like. So for every version, we have the same board. There are the 5 rooms, the different colors. There's furniture that you obviously can't walk through. So here's this version. Each space you land on has a number associated with it. So for this, we have a prompt document. You go to that and go to the correct room and the correct number, and then that is the prompt. You'll have the reading prompt and the activity prompt. You choose whichever one you want to do, and once you complete that prompt, you can move on. So both the numbered and the unnumbered version are in a Google Drive for you. I personally will be playing with the non-numbered version and then just referencing the version with the numbers. But if you prefer to print off the one with the numbers, you are totally welcome to do that as well. There are a couple spaces that are technically available for you to go in that don't have numbers, because I figured that people would not be going to those spaces, and I already had to come up with over 100 prompts, so I figured we didn't need a couple extra. With these prompts, everything is truly up to your interpretation. So just a reminder that you have to match the prompts with these numbers if you're doing the reading prompt to the theme of the room as well. There are some duplicate prompts room by room, but they should lead towards different kinds of books and are all vague enough that you will be able to pick something different but still have tons of options. So for version 2, you are doing the same thing. Your goal is to get from one door to the next, but you can also investigate the ghost. For this, all you have to do is stop on the ghost space. You don't have to roll the exact number to get to the ghost. You can just stop on your roll. If you want to end your roll there and then re-roll to get to the door, that's fine. If you want to continue your roll and just like collect that prompt until you get to the end, that is fine too. You just have to do the prompt. And then with version 3, there's also the equipment that you can collect. So if you go to the equipment, you have to do the prompt for that. Once again, you can stop there and re-roll to move on, or you can kind of just pick it up on your route. If you pick up the equipment in the room, then for the ghost also in that room, you can choose to disregard either the theme for the room or the prompt. So if you decide you don't like the prompt with that ghost, you can just read something that is haunted if you are in the kitchen. You can choose to pick up the equipment one weekend and not another weekend. You can choose to investigate the ghost one weekend and not the other weekend. If you pick up the equipment, you do have to investigate the ghost though. Truly, you can do whatever works for you each weekend, mix and match, do what you need based on time constraints or things you have planned for the weekend. I think this readathon and this game board is really fun to participate in, but I want it to work for you as well. Speaking of that, in theory, you will be investigating one room each weekend. The thing is, if you need Monday through Wednesday as well to complete one book, or if you want to do the more involved version and you need more time with that, go for it. If it works better for you to just roll as you go and not do one room per weekend, go for it. Really, if you just want to move back and forth between 2 rooms to investigate, who am I to stop you? There are rules so that everybody knows how to participate in the way that I was thinking. But if you do want to participate and you are only available one weekend and just want to investigate one room, I'd love to have you join still. So there will be reading sprints on every weekend throughout the month. I have 15 booktubers joining me in hosting reading sprints. I have some really incredible booktubers who host sprints a lot. A lot of them read horror and thriller or more darker themed books, which I felt just like went with the whole vibe of everything. So all of their channels are linked in the description for you to check out. So go subscribe subscribe to all of them. They are also linked in the Google Doc with all of this info in it, and they are also linked in the spreadsheet. So there will be kickoff sprints on Thursday, October 2nd on my channel. And then in alphabetical order, the other booktubers joining me are Alexis from Alexis Fully Booked, Amy Marie from Books with Amy Marie, Ashley from Ashley's Little Library, Bree from Four Paws in a Book, Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy, Deja from Deja's Book World, Deb from DG Reads, Heather from Books and Heather, Jessie from Reading with Jess, Katie from I Would Rather Be Reading, Mel from Mel Lenore Reads, Monica from A Little Bit of Monica, Rylan from Reading with Rylan, Sam from Samantha Donovan, and Tori from Tori Between Pages. I am really excited for all of these booktubers to be joining me, so make sure you are subscribed to them. Some of them might be making content surrounding the readathon, but there will be sprints from all of them throughout the month. Just a reminder that all the sprints will be Thursday through Sunday. Reading sprints for the event will be shared on Instagram. The Instagram is at Halloweekend Readathon, and there's also a spreadsheet that you can access. Everything is listed in Eastern time zone, which is my time zone, but there is a time zone comparison and a current time in Eastern time, so you can look and see the time differences. But also when the reading sprints are scheduled, they will be linked in the spreadsheet and they will show up in your time zone. So the schedule will be shared on Instagram and my community tab on YouTube weekly. You can always check out the spreadsheet and follow everybody to see when the sprints pop up. There will be more sprints than what is currently on the spreadsheet. Things will be added to as we go. So that spreadsheet is linked in the description. We also have some merch. We have a bookmark and a sticker, and then some t-shirts and crew necks. So for the t-shirts and crew necks, we have two different options. So the first one is the Halloweekend Readathon Ghosty. This one is one from previous years. If you have participated in this before, yes, it is very, very different than it used to be. This color is not available because I wanted to pick things with the most sizing options. So we have the little ghosty t-shirt and then the little ghosty crew neck. And then we also have this cute design that is on a crew neck and t-shirt in black. So those are on Bonfire. And then also on my Etsy, we have a really cute bookmark and sticker. So the sticker is the same as the little ghost on the crew neck. And this is what it looks like. I believe it's 1.7 inches. It will be listed on the Etsy listing, but it is actually glow in the dark. It is so cute, so fun. It is this like yellowish white color without it being dark, and then it does glow in the dark. And then the bookmark, we have a haunted house bookmark. This is holographic foil, so there's some bats at the top, a haunted house. We have a ghost here, and we also have a ghost in each window. And then the back is the background from the front and says Halloweekend Readathon on it. So all of that is linked for you if you are interested as well. Okay, some final reminders. There will not be a Discord for this event. Everything will be posted on YouTube and Instagram and in the spreadsheet for sprints. You won't be logging your books anywhere. There's no sign up form. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments of this video, but in regards to literally any of the prompts, just do what you think makes sense. If you need clarification, definitely ask, but you don't need to ask if a specific book fits. If you think it counts, count it. If you can make an argument for it, it counts. All forms of reading count. Audiobooks, ebooks, print books, poetry, graphic novels, manga, fan fiction. It does not matter. Count your textbook if you really need, if it can fit a prompt. There's no minimum or maximum page count. If you really want to count a 12-page short story, love that for you. DNFs can count or they cannot count depending on what you want to do. If you read 2 pages of a book, maybe just pick another book for that prompt. But if you feel like you made a good effort and you don't want to pick something else for that prompt, you can move on. If you want to pick something else, cool. Great. You can either roll and move from that spot or you can redo that prompt. Whatever works for you is good for me. There is no correct path. You can start and end in any room. There are ways that are easier or harder for each room depending on the direction you go in, but there's really no specific way you have to go. Just a reminder that you have to match the overall theme, and then you also have to read the prompt with the corresponding number in the room you're in. Everything you need is in the Google Drive. And then lastly, if you post any content, if you share a story, if you have an actual feed post or a reel on Instagram, you can tag us at Halloweekend Readathon. If you share anything on YouTube, TBRs, vlogs, recommendation videos, tag me at Books with Lexi in the description. I will have a playlist for all of the content on my channel. So for the prompts, I am not going to go over them right now because there are over 100 of them between the reading and the activity prompts. The activity prompts are the same room by room, but everything, interpret it however you want. That's how we're doing this. Nobody's checking in on you. Nobody is asking what you read for certain prompts. Read what makes you happy. But once again, if you need clarification, if you don't understand something, feel free to ask somewhere. Once again, make sure you subscribe to everybody joining me to host sprints for the month. I am very appreciative of them spending some time with me and with you all for this readathon in October. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments here or on Instagram. I hope you have fun with this and make it work for you. Do whatever you need. I hope the ghosts let you leave this haunted house we're exploring. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you could leave me a ghost emoji in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.